Hi, I'm Joe. This is a short video to talk to you about a 2016 Holden Insignia VXR, which is this vehicle here just beside me. Um, Holden as a brand, as a lot of you Aussies and Kiwis will know, has been around a long time. In actual fact, I would say it's part of your culture. It's the bread and butter of the car society. Between your Holdens and your Fords, it means so much to this country and Australia. But interestingly enough, Holden, of course, is part of a bigger network of GM vehicles. And where I'm from, being Irish, over there you have your Opel and your Vauxhall. And it was no surprise that when GM needed to find a mid-sized sedan vehicle for the New Zealand and Australia market, they looked to Opel and Vauxhall for something for that, which is what we have here. The Holden Insignia itself is a vehicle which is commonly used back home, and there's different variations of it. But the VXR, now this would be considered the sporty version. Now, not quite as hardcore as your HSV, which of course stands for Holden Special Vehicles, which I actually have one just not too far from me, just over here, which you'll see on the right hand side. HSV, an entirely different beast altogether. The HSVs typically associated with their big snarly 5.7 6-litre 6.2 V8 engines, whereas the Insignia, just back over this side, of course more designed for the European market, has your smaller engine. Now this is the funny thing, even though this may be associated as a European vehicle, under the hood what they have is a 2.8 V6 twin scroll single turbo. So 2.8 V6 turbo. And this engine, the beauty of this engine is that it was actually manufactured in Melbourne, Australia. So as a package then, what we've got is we've got a bit of an Aussie-European mashup of an engine that's come straight out of Australia. It's been sent across to Germany, where the German engineers have manufactured this vehicle, and this, because it's a VXR, of course, all VXRs get tuned and they get tested on the Nürburgring in Germany, which of course is a famous racetrack many people know. So the VXR brand then, what we've got here, is a vehicle that wasn't really sold in huge numbers. Why? And that's because when this vehicle was released in 2016, or when this one was sold, should I say, you had the Holden SV6, which is what most people refer to as your V6 Holden Commodore. The V6 Holden Commodore SV6 at a price point was $15,000 cheaper than this. So this brought this vehicle right up then to your Holden SSV, which was a 6.2 V8 naturally aspirated engine. So the thing is, when you look at those three vehicles combined, this then actually seemed quite expensive. So I totally understand why it didn't sell in huge numbers. Interestingly enough as well, because it's a European spec vehicle, these are equipped with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. So very similar to your Volkswagen 4Motion, your Audi Quattros, your Subaru or Subaru, and symmetrical four-wheel drive, and so on and so on. So all in all then, we've got a mid-sized sedan which has a 2.8 V6 turbo engine manufactured in Australia. The car comes from Germany itself. It is also sold in the US as a Buick Regal. The American market for this vehicle is a little different, and when you see the Buick version of this, the wheels are a bit more chrome, and on this vehicle you'll see some aluminium or polished stainless steel, whereas the Buick version of this, of course, has a plethora of chrome around it, and that, of course, is to sell to your American market to compete with the likes of Cadillac. This vehicle itself, when you look at the specifications, you're talking 239 kilowatts, which is 320 horsepower. In terms of newton meters of torque, it produces 435 newton meters. Now, if you were to compare that to something else in the market, it would be very, very similar to that of an Audi S4, BMW 340, and a couple of the Mercedes C-Class and Mercedes A-Class. Okay, so it's no slow coach. In terms of fuel economy, being four-wheel drive V6 turbo, it produces somewhere between your 10 and your 12s, but it really does depend how heavy that right foot is. Now, just after this video, you'll see video part 2, which is where I'll take it for a very short drive and just talk to you a little bit more about the interior and a little bit about how it actually performs on the road. This vehicle here is quartz black or phantom black metallic, and as you can see in the sun, it does a nice job at being shiny. This vehicle behind me has only done 9,000 kilometers and is actually my own vehicle. What I want to do now is I'm going to open up the doors and just give you an idea of what the inside is like. So in terms of interior, these vehicles are equipped with Recaro interior, which is anthracite leather with contrasting white stitching, which is very, very nice. And you'll see the word Recaro just up here, around here somewhere. The vehicle itself is also equipped with the latest Holden iLink, and the back seats are also, and you'll see me mention this in the second video, are a 60-40 rear split. Under the bonnet, I'll just open the bonnet for you just to show you that Australian 2.8 V6 twin scroll turbo engine. So just under here, like I said, this vehicle itself, this has only done 9,000 kilometers, so you can appreciate that this vehicle has only really been run in. But in actual fact, this engine has been around a long time. This engine, for some car purists, will recognize it, and how they'll recognize it is that it used to be in the Saabs, and it was more commonly associated with the last run out of Saab under that GM banner for the Saab 95 Aero. But anyway, enough about this vehicle on the aesthetically outside. Jump into video part 2, where I'll take it for a short drive. Thank you.